Okay, Summer Nationals done. Later on in this video, we're going to unbox some new stuff for the Don. But meanwhile, let's go to the truck and start Summer Nationals and see how the weekend went. Okay, welcome to another episode from Santa Pod Raceway. It is the Summer Nationals. It's a 3-day event. We get 5 qualifiers and we actually go into eliminations on Saturday night. So normally we're going on a Sunday, but because there's so many entries this weekend, the initial entry list was like 350 cars and bikes plus. VW Pro was actually, I think we've lost about 10 cars. So initially we had 28 cars entered. I think we're down to about 18 now when we actually go into actual qualifying. But we'll see who turns up and who doesn't. Maybe some people's cars are not ready. Maybe they've jumped into a different car like myself. So as many of you know, I've hurt my leg and I've got the brace on and stuff like that, so it's impossible for me to actually drive the Mark 5 Golf this weekend because I can't actually get my leg up and over the roll cage. So very kindly, one of the rednecks has lent me a Golf R, so aptly named the Don Junior R. So yeah, so we're going to be dialing like high 12s in the Golf. It's a Golf R, so it's what, a 2 litre 16 valve DSG. So all I've got to do is put my foot down and go. Like anything, it's not just as easy. I've got to work out what the reaction times are like in this car. And yeah, we'll go. So hopefully we'll have a good weekend in a Golf R and you can see what it's like bracket racing in a DSG stock Mark 7 Golf R. So here we go. Okay, so one thing the wife said I really should give some context to, because I forgot to mention it, and to be honest I didn't really record much over the weekend because it just kind of flew by. So I am leading the VW Pro Championship this season. Now the VW Pro Championship, you collect points for the driver. It's not the car that you're driving. So this is why I am able to change my car from the usual Mark 5 Golf 20 valve turbo that I'd be racing, and I am able to jump into a stock road car. As I said before, I can't get my leg up and over the roll cage, but with this stock road car, there's no roll cage in it because it comes under the Motorsport UK 2010 rule. It means that I can run in VW Pro down to 10 seconds in a unmodified car without a roll cage. So I got scrutineered, and the tech guys come over and looked over the car. They also know about my leg, and I also had to perform the 8-second challenge that all drivers, if are asked to do, you have to be able to do. And that is basically sat in your car and you have to be able to get out your car within 8 seconds. That goes for Top Fuel Dragster, Methanol Funny Car, VW Pro, VW Sportsman, Sportsman ET, yada, yada, yada. If they ask you to perform the 8-second challenge, you have to do it. So I was asked to do it, and I did manage to do it in 4.5 seconds. So I was fully safe getting out of the car, proved I could do it, hence why I was allowed to race in the Golf R this weekend. Here we go then. First run with the Golf R. You can see a 12.8 dial on the back window. That's basically making sure I get on the safe side, looking for anything 1280 and above. As you can hear from the video, proper strong headwind, so we know that is going to affect the car, but again, safety first. 12.8. Let's see what she does first run. Not bad at all, really, considering if you look at Abby, who ran a 13.04 on a 12.79 dial. So all of us pretty much just that little bit off, not in the 12s just yet. Qualifying round number 2, and you may have noticed in my Q1, my reaction time was a 0.4, which is pretty much disgusting, but learning how to launch the DSG. So Q2, I'm going to leave on the second amber and see how it goes. Oh, I said nice one, brother. There you go. So my dial was a Pro dial, 1299. My ET was a 1304. Even though it's the 13s, it is only 0.05 off my dial. Number one qualifier for now.
And, well, I think Jake possibly might have hired his own assassin, as Jake Fronda, one of his employees, has loaned Luke this car. If it wasn't for Jake, Luke wouldn't be in this one. Anyway, Luke dials 1299. Let's see what he can run this morning. 1313 stays number one.
So no improvement in Q3, but if you looked at the board, you saw I'm much improved on my reaction time. We've had a 0.4, a 0.1, and now a 0.03. We're getting there. We're getting there. Can we get closer?
So Ian Darts with a Hootie Bug. Looking for 12 flat, and that's Luke Stevenson, 1299 with the Don. Actually dropped to number 2 now. $13.09 for Luke, stays number 2.
So there you have it. The final qualifier done, a 13.0, which is pretty good. Not in the 12s, unfortunately, but the headwind this weekend was just against us. I'm pretty sure without that we would have been in the 12.9s, but well. Reaction time on that one was a little bit too early. I went very much on the early side of the second amber, which gave me a 0.05 red light. So going into eliminations now, I've got my buddy Phil Blogg, who's doing well in the championship. We've already raced a couple of times this weekend and, of course, in eliminations so far this year. To be honest, it is his race to lose. As we've seen, I cannot run my pro dialing. 13.0 is the best I've done. Maybe the wind drops down and I can run a 12.99. It would be nice. But we're going to go into eliminations on the Saturday night and see what happens. Let's go.
Or marquee matchup round 1 then. Luke Stevenson against Phil Blogg. Luke with the borrowed car this weekend, courtesy of a connection through Jake Fronda. Luke dialing in 12.99. He's away. Phil Blogg sets off in pursuit. So Luke Stevenson is the points leader in the VWDRC Championship at the moment. Oh, Phil Blogg got there first by a country mile, but broke out. The win goes to Luke Stevenson, 13.12 on a 12.99. Well, sometimes you'd rather be lucky than good, and Phil Blogg, he had an 03 light. He had 700ths in the bag off the line. He got there first by over a quarter of a second, but broke out by a mile.
And that, my friends, is that. I was lucky. I slowed down my reaction time to make sure I didn't red light. Phil had a brilliant reaction time. I think he surprised himself with a 00. He got in front. He lifted around about 1,000 foot and coasted, but unfortunately still broke out, and that is bracket racing. So that was the end of the weekend, unfortunately. The rain came and completely spoiled everything. I got my 100 bonus points for winning the round, but to be honest, Phil got exactly the same 100 bonus points for losing the round, and the rain curtailed it there. So no one really made any gains on anyone this weekend. So next race, Bug Jam, is just under 3 weeks away. The plan is to be back in the Don, the Mark V Golf, on my leg brace this Friday coming. I've got another 20% movement, and by the time we get to Bug Jam, I'll have another 20% movement. So I'm basically almost at a full 90-degree flex on my leg by then. I'll probably still have the brace on for safety, but to be honest, hopefully by that time I will be able to take it off. I only have 2 weeks until I've got full takeoff of the brace anyway. So while I'm sitting in the car, as long as I'm comfortable, I'll be able to take it off. That means I shall be perfectly good in the Golf, because of course that's where I want to be. I want to thank Lottie for lending me the Mark V Golf. Without that, I would have lost the championship all-run season bonus of 100 points. With the VWDRC, I would have lost out on the qualifying bonus points. I would have lost out, of course, on a round bonus point. The rain off was gutting because obviously I won my first round. I had a bye run in the second round. But at the same time, on the other side of the ladder, James, unfortunately, he'd packed up and gone home because he had a broken gearbox. So this worked. The rain off worked out definitely in his favour. But Michael Strachan, who is number 2 in the championship, he had Rob Jump, one of our fellow Golf R racers. And then on the other side, Joe Hall, our number 1 qualifier, had Petros Taxopoulos. Now, of course, the winner of those two would have met Michael Strachan. And then after that, there would have been a bye into the final. So I'm going to be honest, maybe the rain off was a good thing for me as well. I'll take it. And of course, the next round, as we said, is Bug Jam. That is the biggest round of the year. At present, there is 32 cars entered in VW Pro. That I am happy with, because it means no bump spot in VW Pro. As much as I want as many cars as possible, I do not want a bump spot. I have fell short on a bump spot before, and it has cost me the championship. So I 100% do not want a bump spot in VW Pro. VW Sportsman, on the other hand, of course, Lily is leading the championship. She was also a number 1 qualifier this weekend. I'll show you the video next.
It's another Audi TT pairing. This is Dominic Crawford, your number 1 qualifier, going alongside Lily Stevenson. So 14.30 the target for Lily. Dominic looking for 15.47. Ah, unbelievable. I can't, wow. Lily Stevenson dials 14.30 with a run of 14.30 with a 2. She goes to number 1. Dominic Crawford just dropped to number 2 with that one. Lily Stevenson, the story continues.
She got it in the final qualifier. She did win her first round of racing. She's extended her championship points to approximately 710 points in the lead, which is fantastic. So proud of her. But there is 42 cars entered in VW Sportsman at Bug Jam. You could end up on the bump spot on the outside. And that 710 point lead is nothing if you don't qualify at Bug Jam. Because at the moment, 42 cars means, what's that in qualifying points? 420 points plus 460 points alone in qualifying are available to number 1 qualifier. Then with that's going to be a 32 car ladder, so that's 700 points available. So you do the maths. That is 1,160 points available at Bug Jam in VW Sportsman if everyone qualifies. That's crazy. So no championship is secure for anybody. No championship is anywhere. No one is out of the championship. Doesn't matter where you are in VW Pro or VW Sportsman. Bug Jam is the equalizer to all equalizers. So roll on, Bug Jam. Fingers crossed I have a good Bug Jam. Fingers crossed Lily has a good Bug Jam. We've got a couple of modifications to do on the Don. A couple of parcels have started arriving. Maybe you saw one in the background of just a minute ago. I'm going to go open up now, just to finish off the video. Something to do. Right. If you watched along, thank you very much. Like, subscribe, comment, all that jazz. You know what I mean? It really does appreciate all the videos. We had a great Yum Yum test day the other day. Those are live videos. They come out really good on the TV, actually. We had thousands of people watching that, so that was really good. And don't forget the EFWD visits videos. I'm really proud of those. I really think more people should be watching them. If you've ever wondered what the drag strips are like in Italy, Greece, France, Germany, Malta, the UK, we've got 3 of them from the UK. Go to the playlist on EFWD visits, and it gives you a guided tour to the drag strips that we have been to. Showed you the facilities, showed you what the track is like, showed you ideas for how to get there, and hopefully encourages you maybe to go and visit another track at some point in Europe. Now, of course, we're going to Ravasano in Italy in September. I know there's a couple of more English people going along. It would be wonderful to see more people come and join us in Italy for a September bit of sunshine. But again, thank you very much for watching. Let's go and have some boxes, shall we? Ooh, UPS man. There we go. So, I ordered this a good few weeks ago. Before I crippled myself. What have we got? Ooh. Oh, we got bits. Lovely bits. Chunky bits. Right. Can you guess what it is yet? Metal. Looks like a big mouth. Oh. Do you know what it is yet? I know I said there was no more modifications, but you know, when something comes up for the right price, sometimes you just have to get it. Look at that. It's looking nice. We'll just put that there. I don't think this is, oh, look at all that. Oh, there's some blue stuff in there. Top turnaround. The only thing that slowed it down was border customs. So literally I got the message. It was like, your item is here. I paid it within seconds. I was like, paid, not mucking around. I'm not having that with UPS again. And I paid it. And then it's taken 2 weeks to be released from customs. Not that it really made any difference because I can't do anything because I'm crippled. But yeah. So nice packaging. What have we got? I like getting stuff. See this? I nearly said to them I don't need it, just because I don't. It's not going to be used on my setup, but I figured it's free, it comes with it, and I can always sell it on. Do people like these kind of video where you hear unwrapping? This is like a child's unwrapping. Nice. I was thinking about that as well, how I was going to have to buy these. That's perfect. Look, so supplied with the kit is fittings for all of my hoses, of course, go into the wastegate, the fuel pressure regulator, the ECU. So essentially, we put the Passat inlet manifold on, and it didn't really lower the intake temperatures as much as I'd like with the new intercooler setup, but we have recalibrated the intake temp sensor, which we've not yet done a run since, so whether that makes a difference I don't know. But anyway, I was searching online. You either had the SEM inlet manifold, which you can no longer get, it is like rocking horse poo, and they're about £1,000. You can get there's another guy on Facebook who sells them for about £800, or from Spa, a cast manifold like this, and you can have it with either 4 injectors or 8 injectors. Obviously it comes out the cast like this. I only need the 4 because I've got 4 1700cc injectors, which is more than enough for what I've got. But yeah, fully cast manifold, made in Brazil. It's got all your fins. There you go, look. So it looks alright in there. Whether it Now, of course, this is a large port inlet manifold, and I've got a small port head. And if you actually look at that, it's not perfectly circular, is it? So we're going to get the old Dremel out on that, no doubt. I've got a new inlet gasket up there, which is for the large port, so I can put that up there against there, and we can match port that to the gasket. And then I can also take my phenonic gasket that I've got. I think I said that right. Phenonic, whatever. And obviously the cylinder head is a small port, and this is a large port. So what I will do is put the large port gasket onto the phenonic gasket, and we will just cut it away a little bit, so it's like a transition from it makes it like a transition gasket from a large port to a small port. You can actually buy them online from a company in Europe, but they won't send them to the UK unless you buy over 150 euros worth, and they were 60 euros, so you had to buy 3 to get them shipped to the UK. Now, when I'd already bought mine from Pro Race Engineering for the small port, thought might as well already just adapt what I've got. But there you go. That looks cool, doesn't it? So gets rid of the Passat one. What I like about it is the Passat one is a solid lump here with the inlet just straight in the middle here, and so it doesn't really give much distribution for all of the cylinders, whereas this one has been designed to have a much bigger capacity for airflow. It is a direct swap for the standard Passat inlet manifold. So it's literally the 10 bolts that you see there, whips it off, and you could put 10 bolts. Stock VW throttle body bolts on here. You can, when you order it, you can order it for a larger throttle body, but to be honest, what we're running, the stock one will do, and knowing that you can always extend it. If you want to fit a bigger one, I can get Lee to drill it, and you can always cut it to fit a larger throttle body if you wanted. Another thing that comes with it, so I'm going to assume those are for mounting this as well, but sparturbo.com, a nice billet fuel rail. I am hoping that the stock fuel rail, and I say I'm hoping, it goes that I am hoping the stock fuel rail will fit on this, because if you look at my current setup now, I've got the stock fuel rail and Lee's welded on the AN fittings on the inlet and the fuel pressure regulator on the stock rail. So if that goes in, I'm just going to bolt it up exactly the same. We don't have to change anything. I will keep hold of this fuel rail because I've got some fittings that will put a dash 8 in there, so that actually gets rid of the dash 10 to adapter, because I have a dash 10 fuel line, so that can actually correct that at some point. But I would then have to fit an aftermarket fuel pressure regulator, which I have got one from 034 Motorsports, so I have got a solution for that and can fit the original fuel pressure regulator, or I've got an adjustable fuel regulator which I can put into that 034 Motorsport holder. So again, we can do that, but to be honest, I really haven't got time before bug jam. While we're staying on the E85, I don't think there's any need to change any of that, and that can be something for a later date, because of course we did say we want to go on to methanol, but I can't put it onto methanol without wearing my Dash 15 suit, and unfortunately I don't fit in my Dash 15 suit. I am getting close. I've lost 20 kilos this year. I've probably lost about 5 kilos of muscle in my leg since doing this. Probably not, but you know what I mean. But yeah, I'm trying to continue losing weight, and I want to get into my Dash 15 suit. When I do, we will retune the car for methanol. But to be honest, this season I'm going to leave it as is, because we're not going to be turning the boost up. We are consistent 11-second car, and we want to take that championship in the Don and continue our fight. This is more just aesthetic looking, and to help the car breathe a bit better and hopefully bring down main temperatures. But yeah, so as I said, that's the Spa cast manifold. You can get it in black, or you can just get it in this cast colour. I think that's nice. And for what, £350 plus £80 taxes, bargain. And of course, the good thing is we've got our fuel tech. We can look at the data and see how much of a difference that makes compared to the stock Passat inlet manifold. That's the good stuff we can do. I'll get it on the dyno at some point. We never obviously put it on the dyno before when we did the new setup, but it's cool. And then it also came with this pipe, which is a water pipe that would normally run underneath here for the Passat, but I'm not going to be using that, so I'll probably sell that on to someone as a replacement for their car. But yeah, there you go. Parcel number 1. Right, parcel number 2. What have we got? It's heavy. It's heavy. So, you know, every once in a while you see something on Facebook and you go, that's too cheap to be true. Well, the thing is, pay PayPal, only ever pay goods and services. It cost me an extra £8, and it gives you the confidence that if they don't send it, you get your money back. If they do send it, you can get a bargain. Now, when we built the car, can you tell what it is yet? Can you tell what it is yet? So, way back when we started building the Mark V Golf, it was a cheap project. The dragster had just been sold. I bought a new dragster chassis. And I'm being attacked by a fly. And I was building another dragster, but I wanted something to build cheap. I had the Audi TT, which was a convertible, which was going to race in Sportsman, but I couldn't without a roll cage. So we decided the Mark V Golf was in the unit. Let's take the engine out the Audi TT, put it into the Mark V Golf, and run it in Sportsman. Then we were like, well, we've got the fuel tech, so we might as well put that on. Well, we've got this. Okay, we could run this in the 12s. Then we got the bet with Daniel to run into the 11s. And then we chased 11s. And then we went quicker than 11s. And then we spent loads more money. And we continue spending loads more money. And now things are having to be upgraded because things that we originally bought were crap now. And that we could do a lot better. So, back to the box. Okay. So, as we said, when we bought the stuff, I bought a set of coilovers off of eBay that were stance coilovers. We didn't care what they were like, and we didn't really care about performance. It was just a case of getting the coilovers on. But the other day, Jamie found these. So, a set of BC Racing BR type shocks. Now, again, they're not going to be the most amazing competition shocks, but these are 100% better than what I had. The ones I had are a £120 brand new set of coilovers. They were not brand new. When I bought them, they were run low. They were seized. We had to I had to wire discs just to get these clean. One of the coils or helpers, whatever, was completely seized, and we had to heat it up. And I remember Lee standing back with the torch, trying to boil it and get it to move and not break it and not explode the shock. But we got it to move, and we've used them. And if you look at any of our videos, I get so much suspension travel, not only from the front basically doing nothing. And Jamie has said to me, these shocks are knackered. They're just doing a job, but they're not doing their job. And I was going to buy some build scenes, but for 250 quid, you can't argue. They've even got camber adjustment plates. So these are not going to go on the car anytime soon, because these will require wheel alignment, camber alignment, and I simply haven't got time to go and fit them. I can't fit them. but I haven't got time to take it somewhere to get it properly done. So we're going to go to Bug Jam with what we've got. Of course, we've got a couple of little changes to do on the car anyway. They're not really going to make it go any faster, I don't expect. The weather was pretty warm at the last one, so maybe mid-11s, that would be nice. But eventually these will go on. These are I can't remember what it was, the spring was, but the spring is just a little bit, I don't know how you say it, lighter. There's a stiffer spring that Vos worked out that we could go for, but this will be perfect to trial with. So I'm going to clean these up, and eventually they're going to go on the car. And fingers crossed, that will be a very good upgrade for the front of the Don. So yeah, every once in a while, Facebook Marketplace comes up an absolute winner. So yeah, we're going to put them on at some point, clean them up. Obviously, the rear axle is the big job. We've seen what Badger has done. That was the idea that I've had for a long, long time. But Badger has got the skills to do it. And of course, that is a winter job, is the rear axle custom, and put some better springs and shocks on the back for drag racing. But yeah, there you go. Right, unboxed. So, next video, we'll go and fit them. I've got something else on the way as well. And we've also got to talk drive shafts, because one of them is severely damaged. Until the next video, catch you later.